And I do the same thing sometimes when I'm like, did I explain that correctly? Do I need to go over that again? I don't think there's anything that I need to go over again. So they were Felician University on, that's why I love this, Monday, March 14th. That's why I get tired of having to look at a cell phone for everything. I'm retrograding, I'm regressing, Mr. Clark, and I love it. Oh, you're back. How was Japan?
Great.
All righty. And Mr. Clark is here. All right, so I didn't know you were from Jamaica, sir, but interestingly enough, thought you might find this interesting. I hope you're really from Jamaica. I hope you're not just shining me on. Jamaica! It's a high five.
Good evening, I'm Steve Williams, Deputy Brian Lowe from RugbyLeaguePlanet.com.
Oh, really? They got the whole match. Oh, that's interesting.
20 yards out, first tackle.
Not too bad.
So solid defense, not happy. Look at Nathan Campbell, number 11 there for Jamaica. He's had a pretty good half so far. The gap opened up and closed very quickly. Yeah, good tackling by the Hawks.
Well, they beat Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica's just they've only been in rugby league for the national team in the last few years, maybe. Well, let's put it this way. There's more chance of Jamaica going to the Rugby League World Cup than winning a bobsled thing. Stick with this. But the USA had to beat them to get into the World Cup. I turned on the TV the other day. Yes. I turned on the TV the other day, and what did I see? Channel 140, which is Fox Sports World, NRL, because of course in the Southern Hemisphere it's now fall, so they started up the National Rugby League Cronulla Sharks versus something the Dragons. I don't know where the Dragons are from, but whatever. So I, was watching that and looking at that while I was messing around on the computer and stuff like that. So yeah, Rugby League is back on TV again, so I'll be happy to be watching whatever they've got. Certainly better than a football game. Sorry, moving on. There you go. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. Uh-oh, oh! Calm down, gentlemen. And I am pleased to say that Leicester City is still sitting atop the Premiership as number 1. Happy with that. Very happy with that. I gotta do that. Where are we here? All right. Ms. Mendoza. Ooh. Oh wait, this can't be the right one. It must be the other one. Sorry. It is definition, but there was one last thing on classification. There we go. Sorry, I put up the wrong one. Whoops. I know it's excruciating, Mr. Kaiser, but and it's probably tickles you to death that they actually pay me money for this. But I'll get there. Sorry, sir. Oh, Mr. Manassas, you're kind of blowing like the breeze. Like a Caribbean breeze, man. Yes. Yes. I hope you're not so lackadaisical with the balls on the field, sir. So I'm grateful to you, Holy Jesus, that we're here. And I pray for your blessings upon us during this time of Lent. Because next week we'll be entering, those of you who are Christian, will be entering into the time of the holiest week of the year, Passion Week. Passion. The whole week? You can't come to school? Oh, okay. Well, okay then. So remember that, and I'll certainly remind you, because we have class still during Passion Week, but the time when Jesus suffered and died, and thankfully rose again. But Jesus, I pray that you will pour out the mercy of your grace, the mercy of your wounds that you received from us, human beings, upon us, and help us with whatever might be troubling us. Help us as we're coming to the end to see maybe some ways, if we haven't done anything during Lent, and we should have, maybe to do something. And just pray for your world. And for those of us who are in it, there are a number of things I saw on the news, bombings and killings, and some lady in Staten Island killed her baby. She gave birth to it and killed it. You hear about that? Don't put it in a garbage bag. I guess she was embarrassed or something. I guess whatever. I don't know. Cop shot down in Maryland. Just someone came and shot him and killed him. So these things go on, Jesus, and I can't control them. I'm not God. I'm not you. So I ask for you, Holy Jesus, especially during this holy time, to maybe change hearts so that people will not do some of the stupid, crazy things that they want to do. And maybe that includes those of us, or some of us in this room, like wearing orange socks. Thank you, Jesus. In your name I pray. Amen. I'm going to be on you all day, sir. Oh, Miss Louisma! You are here. Good to see you, miss.
I was here for like 5-10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's give one scan over to see. Oh, Manessis is here. Manessis, I truly appreciate the attempt with the beard, sir. Let's keep it up. It's beautiful. Okay. The last thing I wanted to say, the last thing on the PowerPoint was the word parsing. Parsing. And I didn't give you the Latin because the Latin is right embedded in the word parse. Pars, partis. Let's see if I can write on here. I've been avoiding it, but let's see if I can. What do you do here? Whoops. I'm glad that makes you happy. Look, you took off your hood and you put on a hat. What's going on there?
I didn't have a hat on underneath.
Underneath?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Let's go back. Okay, so what do? You hold it. There you go. Pointer options. Pointer options. There we go. Pen or highlighter. Say pen. And we should be fine. Go back. Okay, so we'll see. No, nothing. Okay, let me try the red one. Let's see here. Nope. Nope. Okay. La-da-dee-dee-dee-dee. from the Latin pars, partis, where we get our word a part of something, part, and it means exactly the same thing, so I didn't have to even give you a definition of it. Part means part. It's exactly where we get our word from. Yes, parse. Parsing. This verb to parse, P-A-R-S-E, to break something down into its component parts.
That's that coffee that's thinking hyper, right?
Yeah. Yeah? Sure it's not that banana? Or the M&M's, Edwards, or... Let's have a party! It's Liberty Hall! Well, write down more than the... Why don't you write down more than the... Right? I gave you the Latin on the board. Are you going to remember that? Why don't you just write down what's on the board as well? No, I got you, but I'm looking out for Ms. Robertson and all of you who are not listening. I'm trying to help you take notes. Take notes.
Parse is the land. What's parse?
Exactly. That's an excellent question, Mr. Clark. So, Ms. Algorin, pars and partis. What is... Oh, part. Sorry. Ms. Algorin, what is partis? What is partis? I know I told you this, but maybe, I didn't hold you to it. Remember, when you're doing Latin words, you do the noun form, but you do also the possessive, because it changes sometimes. And a lot of our Latin forms, and the forms that have come into the Latin-based languages, like Spanish, like what's the word for part in Spanish? Huh? Parte. What's it in Portuguese?
Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah. Probably party, but, I don't quote me on that. I'm not going to go look at Google Translate. But why is it parte, and it's also parte? I can't drill my R, I'm sorry. I tried my whole life to, maybe I should do more practice, but parte in Italian, why? These are Latin-based languages, and we take our words in Latin, or at least in Latin-based languages, and in English as well, which is not Latin-based, but nevertheless, from the possessive. But you need to know both. You need to know both. Because in the verb form, it follows the noun form, the nominative form, as they say. The nominative, the noun form. Parsing. So that's, Mr. Clark, what part is for. Part is what it means. I'm sorry, I forgot. I meant to write down the possessive, but it means part. That's where we get our word part from. All right. So you're taking things apart. You are putting, and sometimes that can be helpful in analyzing an argument. Remember to read the chapter on arguments. I've mentioned that before, but I'll say it again, because that's where we're going after this, after definition. And not just breaking down definition. So that's what I wanted to say about this word. That's about it. All I want to say about that. Moving on. Slideshow. Yes. I love the technology, it's just some of it doesn't work very well. Now, why am I frozen?
President, just to clarify, our test on Wednesday will be on quantification standpoint?
It will be on everything we've done up until today. Everything we've done, from the last major quiz until today. You're welcome. All right, then. Can I move even the slides so I can check? Okay, sorry. Oh, there's an update. Okay. Definition. I have my notes. Let the fly solo for a moment. Definition. What is a definition? Well, I know that Kelly gives you a rather longish definition about genus and reference and stuff like that. And I myself had to think about it. I mean, I just don't take verbatim what the guy does. You know, I read the chapter and look at it. But I think, believe it or not, Mr. Clark, why do you have headphones on? How are you going to hear me? I don't want to compete with Dr. Dre. You understand? I'm the doctor. What did she say?
That was the only funny thing we've ever said. Oh. No, but it was funny.
The woman's honest. Anywho, a definition is a statement that expresses, oh wait, I changed this, is basically a statement, oh Ms. Hannah, Ms. Johnson, a statement that expresses what something is and how it is. It expresses its nature and its function, what it does, or at least the details that differentiate it from other things. Ms. Johnson, you'll have to remind me that you were here so I can put you down. Please. You got that? Yeah. You got that. Definition. What's the definition? Somebody tell her. I said, you got that? You said, yeah. Okay, good. I can move on then. What's your name? What did you just write down in your notes about definition?
Expresses its nature or function.
Okay, good. A definition is intended to express both the what and the how of something. The what Kelly calls a genus, and the how he calls, well, we say species, but he uses a different word. Well, species, he prefers to use reference in this case, which I think is a little bit confusing. At least it confused me, maybe it confused you. And then he throws in another word that begins with a D. Ms. Lorenzano. And what is that word? Differentia. Excellent. Thank you. How do you spell it? Yes. How do you spell it? Okay. Well, think of it. Difference. It sounds like difference. So at least up until the letter N, you can probably figure out it's going to be the same. Different. Then it's the ending, sh, that might be, you know. So think about other words that sound the same. Minutia. Someone asks you, you know, don't get into the minutia of the differentia. I make my own fun. I don't care if she hates me. I know. I don't mean that in that strong a way. She just that. Just a joke. Or, I'm trying to think of another word other than minutiae. Well, it doesn't matter. I've got it on the PowerPoint, so I'll show you. Why do I have this gentleman as the picture? Because he is credited with being the first person to write a comprehensive dictionary of the English language. And what is a dictionary, Kaiser Augustus? It is a book. Good. So we have its genus, Mr. Maris, yes? It is a book. That is the genus of a dictionary. It's a book, piece of literature. Mr. Brito, specify. Yeah, specify, please. Now, why does she have to tell you? What are you messing around with?
That's how I write my notes.
What are you writing your notes with that? Write your notes with your hand.
I've never seen it. I'm not new to it. I'll never do it. And if I do, it stays in my phone.
Oh, my God. So why does it say by Joshua Reynolds?
Because that's a picture. The picture is by Joshua Reynolds, painted by Joshua Reynolds of Samuel Johnson. So it's probably accurate as to how he looks. Do I know this? Well, further evidence tells us that Johnson didn't like the picture because he thought it made him look like he was blind. He was. The guy, the dude was half blind, and so he had to squint while he was looking at the pages as it was being painted. And so he didn't like that picture. He wanted another picture that made him look, in a better light. But I like this picture because he's reading a book. He's reading. He looks like he's looking. He's thinking. I didn't know that he had bad eyesight, but apparently he didn't want people to know that. Kind of like George Washington. Why does he never smile in his portrait? Because he had bad, rotten teeth, and it's a matter of honor. And he didn't want. Like you don't want to point out like someone stinks, like they're smelly.
If this is my friend, I'll tell him.
Huh?
This is my friend, I'll tell him.
Yeah, but you wouldn't tell me because I'm giving you grades.
I would.
You would? You're smelling this, you done?
I would say there's a smell coming from me.
There's a smell emitting from me? Okay.
I think it's better to tell people.
Well, thank you for your honesty, Ms. Ferguson. I'll try to be equally as honest during the grading period.
I think you should.
Well, she hasn't said that. But I'll tell you that the week on Christmas goes a long way.
Oh, you should such a thing.
I'm kidding. I know I'm being recorded. I'm not asking for money. I'm making a joke. Okay? So, Mr. Kaiser gave us the genus of a dictionary. It's a book. Okay. What is its referencer, Mr. Brito? What's the referent of a dictionary? Well, you just, you were just kind of a roundabout. What do you mean the definition?
What the word means.
It's a book which tells you what words mean. Good. So we have a reference there. All right? It's a compilation. It's a book which gives you all sorts of meanings for different words. Genus and reference, and I don't think we need to say anything else about that,
What is the reference of a dictionary again?
Tell her, Mr. Brito.
Of the word?
No, you said more than that. Yeah, okay, meanings of words. Now, what if I wanted to go deeper? I wanted to go deeper than that and ask you for a differentia, Ms. Montalvo. What would be a differentia for a dictionary?
Right, so that.
Yes. By the way, for those who are asking how to spell it, it was in the chapter you were supposed to read. I'm not saying you didn't read the chapter. I'm just trying to prick your memory a little bit. Just a little bit. Ms. Montalvo will be a differentia of a book which gives the meaning of words. Zalmani. I know I'm dyslexic. I apologize. But you were gone for a week and my brain just went. The dictionary is a book that gives the meaning of words. Now, that's the genus and the referent. What's the differential? What can we get to give us a differential for a dictionary? What's your major? Psychology? Well, if you wanted to know if someone was the difference between a neurosis and a psychosis, you needed to define them for yourselves, because maybe you weren't yourself, because you weren't exactly clear in this algorithm. Where would you go? What? To the internet. Okay. But as a psychologist, or do you want to be a social worker?
Dictionary.
Good. And what do psychologists call their dictionary that they might go to, where it would define the neurosis as opposed to a psychosis? You have to have this, you can't just go to the internet. You have to also have a copy for yourself. I mean, Not an encyclopedia, sir. That's different. That's different. It is a book, sir. It is a, well, actually, it's a collection of books, so one might say the genus is different. Yes, yes, sir. What do you think? What do you think? What's your major? I'm standing right in front of you, looking at you. What's your major, sir?
Computer science.
Okay, computer science. I'll get to you in a second. Any other psych people here? Big surprise. You'll be a great counselor. You know, your jokes aren't really that funny. Tear people apart, is there, you know? Okay, where would you go to find out the definition of neurosis as opposed to psychosis? Let's say you weren't sure about the difference. You want to look up neurosis in the dictionary. Where would you go, psychology? To your cell phone. That's not a book. That's not a book, so you can't give me a differentia. It's not a book. A cell phone is not a book. Yeah, oh, that makes perfect. A psych dictionary. That's in no way a circular argument, right, Ms. Lorenzano? You could go to Webster's Dictionary. You could go to Webster's Dictionary, Funkin' Wagnalls, Merriam-Webster, all sorts of dictionaries that you could have, in, you know, but don't you need something more specialized? I mean, if I were going to you as a psychologist and, you know, which is not exactly a dictionary, but does it have definitions? Now you got it. Okay, mental illness, high five. Oh, I like your nails, too. Learn this, Ms. Edwards. Learn that. Memorize that, yes, okay. The DSM-5. I need more chalk in here. Dying on the chalk again. What is it with these people with chalk? They're just only the chalkboard.
Bring your own chalk.
Okay, DSM-5er. What's D stand for? Who said that? How do you know that, sir?
I took a psych class my first year here.
He took a psych class. Majors, take note. Diagnostic. Okay, so you got that one. I got you, Mr. Reeves. Sergeant Reeves. Diagnostic. What's the next word mean? What's the next word mean, Ms. Edwards? What's the next word? S is manual?
Oh, statistical.
Diagnostic.
And statistical.
Thank you. And statistical. Ms. Almonte? Manual. Ms. Almonte, why is it number 5? Why is it called the DSM-5? Why not just
Maybe it's the 5th edition?
It is the 5th edition. Because sometimes the definitions change. Sometimes new mental diseases and defects and illnesses are discovered or more specified, and so they have to make a change. Just, I'm sorry?
Is this considered referring, you said?
Hold on. Don't get too much ahead of me. Stay with me. Stay right by me. So you have, is it a book, Ms. Almonte? Yes. Does it contain the meaning of words? Like neurosis. You could look up neurosis in it, yes? And it would give you a definition. Possibly examples and treatments. See, that's why you're not listening. You're not listening. That's why you don't know. Why is it a differentia? Because the definition has been met. We have a genus, we have a referent. Differentia is now within the species, within the referent, and this is where Kelly goes back to this genus-species language, and this is where I think he's being confusing, but within the referent, there are different types of books that give meanings of words. A legal dictionary, Black's. I had to look up stuff in Black's legal dictionary, which is a famous legal dictionary for lawyers, but there are other legal dictionaries out there. The DSM, if you're into mental illness. What is the difference between neurosis and psychosis? I will tell you very simply, even though I'm not a psychologist, neurosis is a mental illness, psychosis is a mental disease. It's the difference between having a cold or having cancer.
That's a big difference.
But that's basically it. Schizophrenia is a psychosis. If you're a schizophrenic, you've got a big problem and you need major treatment. Okay? And it's probably, like a lot of diseases, not going to go away. Whereas if you're just someone who has issues washing your hands all the time and germ issues, that's more of a neurosis. You can function. You don't need drugs, most likely. You can try to, some things. Maybe you need a therapy group or something. Okay, so that would be a differential. So this is my definition of definition. Okay, I didn't really like Kelly's definition, so I kind of boiled it down. Okay, a statement expressing the genus to which something belongs and its essential reference. A dictionary, its genus is that it's a book. The book, which is a collection of meanings of words. Okay, that's its essential referent. Maybe there might be more than one referent. Okay, but that's, I think, that's one referent, and that's enough for a dictionary. It's pretty clear. Okay. Comes from the Latin word de fideo, combination of two words, de, which means of or from. So bringing someone to the, bringing to the boundary or making a boundary is what de fideo really means. Fideo, yes, also finir, it means finish, to finish something, to complete something. So it has the same kind of meaning, to bring to completion, but the ancient, or the most root meaning of fideo, this word, F-I-N in Latin, is a boundary. Okay, that's what definitions do. They construct boundaries so you know what this is as opposed to that. And someone who's philosophically minded, and this is a philosophy class, might say, Mr. Dunn, aren't we just constructing those boundaries? Aren't those boundaries just artificial? Well, yeah. To a large extent, they are. Okay? And then someone might follow that through and come to the postmodern conclusion that, well, we can't know nothing about nothing if all our definitions and the boundaries we've set, Mr. Nate, are simply artificial, made by us. Well, who are we? But, and do you mind if I touch your cell phone? And your pen? May I have your pen, please? When I place these in front of Ms. Venecianos, what are those? I'm asking her. What are those? How do you know that? How can you call one a cell phone and one a pen? How can you make that difference? That looks like a cell phone? You think so? How do you know what a pen looks like? Okay. Ms. Don't touch nothing. Leave it there. Ms. Whatchamacallit? Campbell. I know. Ms. Campbell. May I borrow that, please? Thank you. Okay, well, let's complicate things. Which one of these three is pen? How do you know that? So?
I mean, they both essentially do the same thing.
They do, their function is the same. And one they're using ink, lead. does lead change the equation, lead versus ink? Do you think? Kate, you right with that? Okay, but you can write on a cell phone. I mean, can't you? You can't communicate with a cell phone like you can with those, though. But aren't there some cell phones like Apple that have the technology you can write on?
Yeah, you can write on this one.
You got a stylus?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take this out of the equation. What is it, other than being told, other than the fact that someone put that, what is it, Mr. Brito, in you, because you're the only common element here, your brain, looking at those two things that tells you they're different? Are they really different, or are you improving them? Are you imposing the difference on them? Huh?
They're really different.
But how do you know that?
One has a, basically, the computer says, you can write it.
Okay.
And so you can do more, you can do research.
You can do more with it. Okay. How would you, okay, good, you can explain it. How would you prove to me that these are two different things, that this is not a cell phone, and that's not a pen?
The cell phone you can't actually pick up or you draw something on paper.
Why can't I just call this a pen then?
It's not. You can't write anything down.
Well, you
You have
just
to
say
write
it's
on it.
not.
You have to write on it. You can't write
You
with
pick
it.
it up and go like this on a piece of paper, words will come out.
So you can't take a word and just say it means anything. There's a difference. Interesting. Interesting. We'll come back to that later. Okay. So we're looking for a genus or a concept, to use other language that Kelly uses, and a referent or a species, to use language that he uses. Okay? Let's look at the definition then. Oh, and then the differentiate. Excuse me. Here's where I give you the word. And in Latin, would you please, sir? There are ladies present. Hey, that's like a Rorschach. I'm assuming that. Differentia. Differentia comes from the Latin word for difference, Ms. Taveras. Difference. Differencia in Spanish. Differencia in Italian. Différence in French. From the same word, difference. It can also mean diversity, so I throw that in there if that helps you. Difference. So what distinguishes a species from a species? So I gave you what's the difference between a legal dictionary and a psychological dictionary. Well, they're both dictionaries, they both have the same genus and species, but their differentia is different. One is talking about legalisms and law, one is talking about mental issues. Could there be overlap? Yes. Could be overlap. Historically, there has been. The first DSM is Almonte. It's something like only 30 pages long. It's thin. It was almost like a pamphlet. And all it basically did was restate what the laws were on certain moral actions, like sodomy. Homosexuality was sodomy, any form of sodomy, which, according to the law, was the anal penetration of another human being, male or female, by another human being, male or female, didn't matter. Usually those laws were directed towards male homosexuals, for obvious reasons, because lesbians, well, I understand the internet, you can buy stuff, but I told you not to be dirty, Mr. Williams, so I won't be dirty. Nevertheless, so that's how it historically entered into the DSM. Homosexuality or the homosexual inclination as a mental illness. They were just restating what the law said. The law said. Not basing it on psychological testing, although they did actually have psychological testing, but that's a whole other issue for another class. But they were going by the law. The law goes by psychology. You know, lawyers will bring in psychologists all the time. For example, you might have to prove that a person was mentally ill. That factors into a defense, Mr. Reader. If you're a lawyer, you know, if you've got a bat, bat poop crazy client who didn't know what he or she was doing when he did some awful thing, then, you know, that might be relevant. But a lawyer's not a psychologist, and you wouldn't go to a legal dictionary, although a legal dictionary might talk about a mental illness defense or someone who is non-compos mentis. I think that's in long O. I think that's a long O. I could be wrong about the length of the O, but whatever. Non-compos mentis. I don't know that anyone's in pre-law. I don't think people are. I think that's been burned. You know, pre-law is, you know, been glutted so much with people that people don't want to do that anymore. Do we have any pre-law people here? No. All right, whatever. Have you ever come across this phrase before? Non-compos mentis? No?
Mentally competent?
Huh? Come on. Come on. You're almost there. You're almost there.
I'm almost there, but I'm not there, so you should take it along.
In roughly translated English, it's what we call not of sound mind. Non means not. Mentis means mind. Mentis, mind. Mens, mentis.
What's the compost mean?
He's taking notes.
That wasn't me.
Who was it?
I was back there.
Oh, her? No snitches. No snitching. Don't you know I'm the man? Don't snitch to me.
I have no idea.
Even I know that.
I already got in trouble once today.
Don't complain when crimes don't get solved. Non-compos mentis. Not of mind that is sound. Compos. Competence. The word competent comes from this word competent. So the person is not competent to stand trial. You have to prove that to the judge. To do that, you need a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a medical doctor. Okay, that's different. All right? The differentiate. Hello. I made this. See, you know, Coach loves you. And, you know, I wasted my time at the computer. I waste my time at the computer a lot making these little pictures for people. And so it helps them learn and to teach them. Probably might show up on a test or something. But I made this also to help me understand where Kelly was going, because I honestly have to say I was sitting there for a while like confused about what he was saying. Because he kept using these words. We have class, we talked about classification, and also concept. He says we're classifying concepts, so you could write concept under that if you have the PowerPoint printed out, so you would know it. Then he talks about reference, and then I have a question mark. Because he talks more about genus and species, and he seems to like that language, that philosophical language more. He talks about a genus, which would be a class or a concept. So an emotion, I came up with love, you know, emotions. Could have been anything. I brought dictionary, genus, book. It's a book. Species,
you know, what kind of species of book? A book that tells you the meaning of words. And then we talked about the differentia, legal books, legal dictionaries, medical dictionaries, psychological dictionaries, okay? So just switch that out for what I have here with love. Those would be the differentia. I don't know what word he would use for differentia. I mean, read the chapter. I couldn't find any equivalent word that he uses. I could find something for genus and species, but I guess differentia will just stay differentia. And it is italicized, so they call it, when it's leaning that way. It's not normally leaning. It's meant to show emphasis. That's what you do with foreign words in English. You italicize them. Has nothing to do really with Italy, although it's where the form of script was created, so they call it italicized. Okay. And because differentia is a Latin word and it's not a common English word, I leave it in italics. What's the difference between a referent and differentia? Oh, that's a question I wrote down here for myself. I already addressed that, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Don't be bored. This is fascinating stuff. This is fascinating stuff. Who said I'm bored? Come on, fess up. I'm not gonna get mad. Or who thinks this is boring? Tell me now. Okay, be honest, please. Please. You no surprise, sir. I love the honesty. Honesty.
You're not boring, but the class is.
Really?
Is such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Honesty is hardly ever heard, but mostly what I need from you. Where's that? Billy Joel! Billy Joel! Famous thing, Billy Joel! What's wrong with you people? Billy Joel!
Okay.
All right. How could we fail to make a good definition? Well, Kelly gives us a couple of examples, Ms. Dona, or a couple of standards for a good definition or for a bad definition. You can fail in making a definition by making it too narrow, so that it doesn't include what it should include, other things that it should include by definition. But you can also make it wrong by making it too broad. Okay, I was going to talk about bridge, but since we did dictionary, I'll skip over it. But I might give you this on the test and ask you, what is the genus of the definition? What is the referent? Is there a differentia there? Notice they give you a picture of a particular type of bridge. Differentia. There are different types of bridge. Look, may I? If you're looking, Dr. Gunn found a cookie. Here's a totally different type of structure. This is a differentia. It's a totally different type of bridge, but it still fits the definition of bridge. Okay, so too narrow if it fails to include things. If our definition of bridge that I got from Funk and Wagnalls was not broad enough to include that type of bridge, there's a problem, because they both do the same thing. They're both they're covering an expanse of land. They're going across so you can travel across an expanse of land. They're not going under it. That would be a tunnel. It goes over it, across it. And over and across. It doesn't just go across. That's a road. There's some sense of being a raised structure basically for transportation, in a way, for passage. But you can make a definition that's so broad that it includes everything, and then it means nothing. So, well, why are you copying the PowerPoint? Just print the PowerPoint out later. Listen, print the PowerPoint out later. Listen to me. But listen to me. I'm giving you the information. And, by the way, this is simply taken from the chapter. Because I want to emphasize.
If you write it down, you remember it better.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that
When
out.
I'm studying, I write those down. Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Kaiser.
No problem.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Appreciate that. Okay, I'm changing. Can I change to the next slide?
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you take a picture. Take a picture of me losing my mind. Too narrow or too broad? That stands to reason, doesn't it? You know. If I tell you that, a dictionary is just a book, well, that's too broad because there are all sorts of books. It's not including things that are, or it's just a book. It includes things that are, not referenced. There are all sorts of books that are not dictionaries. Have nothing to do with telling you what words mean. It's something, sir. It's one of the chapters in the book. Mr. Nate, please, sir, please. But a definition could be too narrow. If I say it's only a book that tells you legal definitions, well, that's too narrow. Clearly. So, for example, I just happened upon this. I must have been thinking about you unconsciously, Ms. Ferguson. Not Ms. Ferguson, don't tell me, Ms. Nelson. Did you ever get trained in using a sextant, or did you ever have need for using a sextant while you were on ship, on board?
No.
No. Probably to have the computers do all of this, so.
That's what officers did.
Okay, so the officers knew how to use a sextant?
One of them, yes.
Okay. Notice the definition. I give you two. Funk and Wagnalls. Typically, I have these definitions. These are public domain when they were printed in the early 1900s, so I have them on my computer because I too need to look words up, and sometimes I don't have a physical book handy. Funk and Wagnalls, I don't find their definitions to be that great in many cases, or some cases, and Webster's I think is better. So I give you a comparison. Sextant. A sextant is an instrument for determining latitude at sea. Okay, Mr. Sergeant Reeves, I know you're more of a, on-the-ground type person, but would you know what latitude is?
Well, yes, latitude would be the lines that go across, like equatorial lines.
Yeah. Okay, basically. I mean, you don't have to, no, I'm not asking for, but yeah, if you look at a globe, but if you look at a map, Google Maps or a type of globe, that they have or used to have in school. I don't know if they still have them in high school.
We have them in public school.
Ladder, and how do you remember latitude versus longitude? Latitude runs with a ladder. You go up a ladder, Okay? Latitude, these lines that go up. Okay? And yes, they mark the equator, stuff like that. Okay, Ms. Montez, what is longitude?
Opposite of latitude.
The opposite of latitude. What's the opposite of latitude? Curve? Curved lines? Lines that are diagonally placed? What's longitude? Yeah, no chuckles now, eh, Ms. Montez? Yeah. Come on, what's longitude? Because latitude is my lines on the globe, placed on the globe, going like this. What's longitude? You said the opposite. So what would be the opposite? Yeah, they're going vertical. So there's a vertical line. Longitude. Length. Length. Width. The leg going the length of the earth. Longus, from Latin, long. And then latus. Mr. Kaiser, you're a fan of American football, yes?
Yeah, that's right.
Let us say that I was a quarterback.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't be. Well, I was going to say you're the running back.
Probably not either.
Yeah. What if I wanted to throw you a lateral pass? What is that, sir?
I would say that would be backwards pass or sideways pass.
Yes, if I threw it straight across to you, that would still be considered a lateral, would it not? And if you fumbled the ball, that would not, it would still be a live ball, yes?
Yeah.
Because it's not forward.
Yeah.
Lateral? Lateral, you getting following me?
Yeah, I'm good.
From latus in Latin. Latus, lateris, lateral. Our adjective was taken from genitive form. So, latitude. Latitude, sir. Mr. Kaiser. It's like, throwing a lateral pass around the earth. Latitude. It's not length, longitude. Okay. What is the problem with this definition? Well, I'm going to show you. First of all, a sextant, which is this thing, thankfully Webster's does give us a picture, this contraption, can be used both to measure latitude and both to measure longitude. So it can do both, it's not just latitude. Let me also tell you, why is this important? Because it helps you know where you are on planet Earth. Anyone, if you've ever seen, hold on a second. I got you. Hold on a second. There's a reason I have a PhD. And it's not just for toilet paper in the bathroom. But oh, Mr. Reeves. I'm not even sure what to ask for. Whoa, why is that so big? Okay, that's the director's cut. That's not what I want. That's not what I want either. It's like American football, like when they all leave the field in the middle of it's like, why are they all leaving the field? It's like, don't they still have a game to play? Like half the guys on the field will run off. And a whole bunch of guys run on, and they're like, I got it. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Traffic control scene. Oh, that's a great scene, but I don't want that one. UFO encounters. Nope. No. See, if I'd had this before, thought of this beforehand, I could have looked for it. Globe. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's try map. That might. No. Okay, that might be it. That might be it. Let's see. Oh, okay. You know what?
Hey, everybody, Tim the Stars. This is the scene from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a movie that came out in
Yeah, shut up. I don't care what you... I hate people that think they have to show me the movie and comment on it. Leave me alone. Just show me the movie. Okay. Might have to use this guy anyway. Dude doesn't stop talking.
They talked all the time.
There we go.
Quality version of this, go to Apox's channel. I'll put a link in the description.
All right, be quiet.
Excuse me. Before I got paid to speak French, I speak fast.
Yeah, keep moving around.
This first number is longitude. Yeah. Two numbers. Degrees, minutes, and seconds. The first number has 3 digits, and the last 2 are below 60. Obviously, it's not the right ascension and declination on the sky. Which hemisphere coordinates?
So here, Abe types in the coordinates from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and where do you think it puts us?
No, dummy, that's not what they do.
Right underneath the Denver National Airport. Take care, guys.
Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, no. Because there are people who think that there are aliens under conspiracy. Yeah, I mean, that's why they made the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, so that you could, because it was to tell you about the conspiracy at the Denver airport, yeah. Well, we all know that they have aliens buried underneath it, yeah. But, that's the scene in the movie. That's as good as it's going to get. I'd have to do more searching myself. I would have thought it would have been easier, but, you know the sense. Do. It's almost like, everyone's probably heard that, especially if you've seen the movie, but has no one ever heard this or seen the movie? Da-da-da-da-da, do. Well, okay, we're not even. All around the world, people are getting these beats and these clicks, and they make this little song, do, and this is where the scene where this one guy, who is a translator, that's why he says, before I learned to speak French, he's a translator for a French dude, because of course none of the Americans can speak anything but English. Don't get me started. But he says, I was a mapper. And he says, these are coordinates. And so he takes the basic coordinates, and they bust into like the general's room, and take this huge, because none of them has a map. None of them has a map, because they didn't know what it was. So they get a big globe that the general had, they roll it down the hallway into the room, and they figure out the coordinates, and they plug it in, and they go into, remember which state? No, not Denver. Does anyone where Devil's Tower is? The famous Devil's Tower? Huge mountain, really it's almost like a mountain, but it's like a butte of rock. Why should I tell you? It's just the United States of America. Immortalized in a famous classic film. Like, what's his name? Cary Grant, when he was hanging off the nose of George Washington. I'm sorry. That wasn't Cary Grant.
Well, I would just like to say that.
Yeah, that was Yes, it was Cary Grant.
And King Kong?
Not North by Northwest. Yeah, it was North by Northwest.
It's a cute mountain.
South Dakota. Wyoming. Wyoming. You never heard of it? It's a state in the Union, but just so you know. In case you were wondering, it's a state within the Union of States that make up the United States of America. I did not make it up. I did not make it up. It's not like Hawaii. Whoever would name a state Hawaii? You know? But, come on. So it's coming to Wyoming, and they don't know what's coming to Wyoming, but that's, you know, the whole point of the movie. They won't go, the government goes there, set stuff up. I apologize for showing you my friend's conspiracy theory about something embedded in this movie about Denver Airport. Denver Airport is a huge airport. It has some weird-ass murals in it that some dude did, probably while he was hepped up on some drug. But, you know, they have all these things about there's aliens underneath them, and that's where they land. Okay. Maybe, you know. This is not a conspiracy theory class, so I'll let that lie. Yeah, the governor is an alien. Yeah. Okay, so sextant. So that's wrong. The other thing that's wrong is that a sextant can be used at sea. No, it's commonly used at sea. That's 10 minutes. It's used at sea, but it can be used on land as well.
You got 5 minutes.
So what's the second problem, Mr. Brito? It's going to show up on Wednesday. We got a major quiz.
That's on C and.
That's why you have it online. That's what you study.
I guess you're going to have to listen to my lecture on YouTube when I put it up. Yes, Ms. Louise-Mann.
I thought that.
Okay. So that's the second problem with the definition of Funk and Wagnalls. Therefore, the definition is too narrow. It's too narrow. The sextant definition given in Webster's dictionary is better, I think. Forget about the mathematical part of it, but number 2, an instrument for measuring angular distances. Especially, not only, but especially latitude and longitude. Okay? Because that's really what a sextant is for. It's measuring angular distance and angles. Okay? And remember, our Earth curves. Not a straight line when you look out to the horizon. Curves. Alright? That explains, by the way, why people see a lot of optical illusions on the ocean, you know? Because when they look out at the horizon, believe it or not, yeah, the light reflects up on the light in the atmosphere, you know, the fluid in our atmosphere, the water vapor and stuff like that. People see all sorts of, you might see an island that might be dozens of miles away, it's nowhere near them, but they see it, they think it's there, because they see it. They're seeing an optical illusion. So this is better because it's broad enough to include what a sextant is and what it does. Okay? On land, on sea, measuring latitude usually, but also longitude, can be calibrated for longitude. Okay? And this is too narrow. So the Funk and Wagnalls is too narrow for the 2 reasons I told you, which I'm not going to repeat, but will show up on the major quiz. Because I'm just feeling bitchy. I'm sorry, I'm just joking. That's there. Definitions matter. Like the definition of who is a citizen. What is a citizen? If I asked you, are you a citizen of the United States? Could you define citizenship for me? You think so?
That's the question last week.
Okay. Is a Native American a citizen of the United States? Oh. How do you know that? There was a time when American law said no, Native Americans could not be citizens because they in fact predated the Republic. They were here before us. That's what I meant. to be immigrants? Nothing. Nations, other nations, other people. What if you have black skin? Are you a citizen? Black skin, came from Ghana? Well, no, a lot of people with black skin were not immigrants. They were property or chattel that was brought here. And property can't be a citizen. Dred Scott, y'all. We have the Supreme Court. Are you a citizen because you're born here? No. Are you a citizen, but are you a natural born citizen? Is there a difference between someone who came here and became a citizen and someone who actually entered life in the borders of the United States? Yes, this is a question. Yes, we come back to birth certificates. You thought that the birth certificate controversy had gone away. But in this case, I don't know if people are talking because what I'm saying could actually help you write this assignment, but yeah, I get it. I understand. Ted Cruz is a man. Has nothing to do with politics. I could care less how you vote. I'm not there when you vote. I'm not telling people how to vote. But the question has come up with one of the candidates because he was born in another country, but to an American citizen. So he is a citizen. Would he be a natural born citizen? I don't know. I guess you got to read.
Is he able to run for president?
I pull stuff out for you. This is due next week. I don't know, sir. Whatever March 28th is.
What is going to be doing
See you on Wednesday. Have a good day. God bless you all. Don't forget, major quiz on Wednesday. No class, just a quiz.
Quiz on the, like, the PowerPoint and then the PowerPoint you sent us.
The quiz is on everything we've done since the last quiz. So, right now.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I like your hairstyle.
Why is that a mess?
Really, you think so?
Shut up!
Oh, be nice, sir. Be nice. Yes, sir. Oh, wait, hold on. Ms. Louise.
That's a quiz from
Bye.
last week.
Sorry?
My quiz from last week.
I'm sorry, what about your quiz?
Remember the quiz I handed in? Don't I need it for...
Oh, that's right.
I need it for Wednesday.
We don't need it. No, but, I know I graded it. I might have forgotten to bring it with me. I guess I forgot to bring it with me.
Okay,
But I'm trying to, hold on, I'm trying to think where, I know where I might have put it, but, you weren't here last time, were you?
Last Wednesday, no. No, but I gave it in on Monday.
Let me see if I put it in here.
If you don't have it, is the lecture on YouTube?
Oh yeah, lectures on YouTube. If I don't have it, then I'll just email you your grade, but I probably do have it. I just
Here's one note from Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the note, but let's, yes, then let's make sure no more absences, please. Because you're getting close to putting me in, well, you can't try because you're going to put me in a position where then I have no choice but to fail you.
But it's not, it's excused though.
No, it's not. Read the syllabus.
Oh, I need that. I need that.
Oh, all right, well, okay, let me see. Okay. Read the syllabus about absences, please.
But if it's a doctor's note, it should be excused, right?
Read the syllabus about absences, please. That's the contract that we're under for this course.
Yeah, it says doctor's note.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. So,
You gotta do research on this online? Because I saw the question.
you might have to, yeah, I had to. I spent a lot of time putting this together, because I had
What
to,
was the point of the Japanese guy thing in there?
this guy is not Japanese, he's
whatever.
Chinese. Well, your comment, until Wong Kim Ark had brought his case before the Supreme Court, it was not in fact decided in American law that a person born here, he was born in San Francisco, was regarded as a citizen. The Supreme Court had to decide that. It was not
Person
clear from the
born here?
Constitution, yeah.
What? And so this is the question we gotta answer.
Yeah, is he a natural born citizen? You're going to have to address, well, first you're going to have to decide what is a citizen.
I'm gonna look it up.
But then you've got a definition with a genus, and you might have a referent, but then you got differential like natural born, naturalized. Because you have to remember when the Constitution was written, most of the founding fathers had not been born here. So they kind of had to claim citizenship for themselves by the fact that they helped found the country. So you have to look at that aspect of it. Yeah, it's not as easy a question as one might think.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Yes, miss.
The first thing break, I told you I was going to be here Wednesday, because
Bowling, yes.
I just found out about an hour ago that we're leaving Wednesday night, so
Okay.
I will be here.
You will be here, okay.
And I did the extra credit. Do you want it now, or do you want to wait till Wednesday?
Just don't lose it. If you're going to do
Okay.
it, if you have it, then please don't lose it.
Okay, so
I mean, do you have a copy file, a
Yeah,
file
I-
saved on your computer?
yeah, and I haven't printed it out, so.
I'll take it now, yeah.
Sure.
If you have it now, then I guess I'll take it. No reason not to.
Thank
Thank you. You're welcome.
See you Wednesday.
Thanks, ma'am. Have a good day. Ms. Montez, did you want to see me or?
I was just looking over the.
Okey-dokey. And I'm sure that I wasn't there. Okay, turn this off.